This is Unearthed Horrors of History. Tonight, we step into DeJarnette Sanitarium. Nestled in Staunton, Virginia, stands a crumbling monument to some of the darkest chapters in American medical history. Once praised as a cutting-edge psychiatric institution, became a place of pain, fear, and irreversible tragedy. Today, it is whispered to be one of the most haunted locations on the East Coast. DeJarnette Sanitarium began in 1932, and so did Dr. Joseph DeJarnette's reign. He was a leading advocate for the eugenics movement, believing certain people should be sterilized to protect society. Under his leadership, the sanitarium became part of a statewide campaign that forcibly sterilized over 7,000 Virginians. Many had no mental illness at all. They were simply poor, marginalized, or deemed unfit. Inside its spotless white halls, patients arrived expecting treatment. Instead, many faced isolation, experimental procedures, and a system that saw them not as human beings, but as statistics. The state would later call these acts a disgrace. But for those trapped inside the building, there was no apology strong enough to erase the horror. Anna was just 14 when she vanished into the system and into the shadows of DeJarnette. Admitted because she was feeble-minded, a vague label the institution used for anyone who didn't fit their standards. Anna was quiet, shy, and academically behind from growing up in poverty. Within months, she was forcibly sterilized. Nurses recorded her extreme distress, but nothing stopped the procedure. Her room is said to be one of the most active hotspots today, where investigators hear soft crying and the sound of a bed creaking. Thomas, 22 years old, suffered from depression after losing his brother in a factory accident. Instead of therapy, he was subjected to early forms of electroshock and prolonged confinement. Witnesses later claimed he became withdrawn and afraid of the staff. Some believe he died during a botched treatment. Records from that era conveniently went missing. Visitors have reported seeing a tall figure pacing the hallway near the old treatment wing, disappearing whenever approached. In the basement was a segregated ward where patients lived in overcrowded, windowless conditions. Many were forgotten entirely. Food and supplies often ran low. Abuse and neglect ran high. One former employee described the ward as a place where screams went to die. Ghost hunters today report growls, shadows darting between pillars, and an overwhelming feeling of suffocation. As the years passed, the sanitarium's reputation became a carefully maintained illusion. Behind closed doors, patients experienced forced isolation and starvation to calm them. Physical restraints for days. Medical experiments without consent. Unreported deaths that never made it into official logs. Some staff members tried to speak out, but most were silenced or dismissed. The state continued to fund the hospital, praising its effectiveness, while hundreds of victims were hidden behind its brick walls. By the 1970s, the building was falling apart, both physically and ethically. DeJarnette Sanitarium finally closed in 1996, leaving behind peeling paint, rusted bed frames, and a darkness that refuses to be forgotten. Since its closure, the abandoned building has become a hotspot for investigators. Disembodied screaming echoing through the hallways. Cold spots in patient rooms with no airflow. Children's laughter near the old juvenile ward. Shadow figures crossing doorways. Objects thrown or moved without explanation. Full apparitions that vanish when you look directly at them. Some believe the spirits stuck here aren't malicious. They're simply victims, still trying to tell their stories. DeJarnette Sanitarium wasn't just a hospital. It was a system of cruelty disguised as care. And for many who entered, there was no escape. Their voices remain inside those walls, whispering reminders of a past our world can't afford to repeat. If you survived this visit to the asylum, leave a comment and tell me what haunting I should uncover next. If you want more horrors like this asylum, follow Unearthed Horrors of History on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. New dark tales drop every week. And if you love unraveling history's darkest legends, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more chilling stories.